Welcome back to your Valley Sports Plugs Phoenix Suns recap for October 23rd through November 10th, 2024. I'm Chris Patrick, that's Michael Benjamin, and we're here to break it all down for you. Let's start off by taking a look at the first 10 games of the regular season. They started out in Los Angeles taking on the Clippers, a win 116 to 113 in overtime. They would stay in Los Angeles to take on the Lakers, a tough loss 123 to 116. After that, they would come back home taking on the Mavericks, a win 114 to 102. Staying at home, a rematch with the Lakers, this time a win 109 to 105. After that, they would head back to Los Angeles, another game with the Clippers, getting another dub 125 to 119. Coming back home for a three-game stretch, they would start with the Trailblazers, a win against their old friend DeAndre Ayton, 103 to 97. After that, the 76ers would come into town, a close one, 118 to 116, but the Suns would get the win. And the last home game of this three-game stretch, the Miami Heat came to town, another win for the Suns, 115 to 112, and boy, are they cooking. After that, we would head out to Dallas for another matchup with the Mavericks and another win, 114 to 113. Luka Doncic has got to be fuming. And finally, the last game of the first 10 against the Sacramento Kings at home, a tough loss in overtime, 127 to 118. And the Suns are 8-2 in their first 10 games to start the season. Oh boy, gotta love what we're seeing so far, Mike, but I gotta know, what are your thoughts through the first 10 of the season?
Suns fans, we're back, baby. The Phoenix Suns are back in action. And oh my goodness, has it been an absolutely stellar start for this squad. You got to give a lot of credit to a lot of different guys. But looking at what we started with in these first 10 games, a lot of questions that we had going into this season are starting to get answered early, and you love to see it. What were we worried about last year? Turning the basketball over and clutch time wins. And the Suns at one point were 6-0 in clutch time wins. And we had a 7-game winning streak. Just absolutely massive games to start right now, too, with this tough schedule. It was awesome to see the Suns go into Intuit Dome in Los Angeles and win the first ever game in that stadium. Definitely a bucket list place to go and check out the Phoenix Suns play the Clippers. But then it was a tough loss to the Los Angeles Lakers after they had a huge double-digit lead in the first half. But they basically kind of took that thing to heart and started putting the pedal to the metal, especially for some of these close games. If you look at it, I mean, the home opener has been the most dominating win for this club because everything else is basically just eking out these wins. 4-point win at home against Los Angeles. 6-point win versus Portland. Once again, unfortunately, kind of a fall flat performance in the fourth quarter of that one, but they find ways to win. And the last three against the 76ers, Miami Heat, and Dallas Mavericks, all under one possession games. It's something that we were wondering what kind of difference I think Mike Budenholzer and bringing in a point guard like Tyus Jones to command the offense was going to do. And to sit on top of the Western Conference right now, 10 games in, I know at early season there's so much movement. You really start to see the fleshing out of standings basically after the All-Star break. But it's awesome to sit on top of the West, baby. You know it is. And we got to talk about some of these guys here, Chris, because if you think about it right now, they're doing it without one of their main superstars really being that effective right now in Devin Booker. His stats not jumping off the page too crazy, 23.1 points, 3.9 rebounds, but 7.3 assists. He's making differences in getting his teammates involved early with less than 2 turnovers as well. But yeah, only shooting 32.1% from three, 42.6% from the field. We're not worried about Devin Booker. He's going to turn it around. And Bradley Beal, that's something that's always going to be in the conversation for him. Unfortunately, he has missed 2 games with the elbow, and now he's having x-rays on his knee. But he's been another beautiful catalyst for times when Devin Booker is struggling. 17 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 3.6 assists. And then there's been a lot of people who've been down on Yusuf Nurkic. But Chris, he's always on double-double watch, right? 9.9 points, 10.2 rebounds. He's coming off 3 straight double-doubles until his no-point effort against the Sacramento Kings. He does need to hold on to the ball a little bit more. 3 turnovers per game. You don't love to see it from your big man, but he's contributing when he needs to. But as far as some guys who are really just jumping off the page for me to start this season right now, Chris, you got to go with the Rook, Ryan Dunn. 6.9 points, 2.2 rebounds in about 16.4 minutes per game. 36% from 3, taking about 4 per game. They've given him the green light. His athleticism on the defensive end is astounding. You saw it in matchups against James Harden and Luka Doncic. He did miss a game, but those young bones are always ready to bounce back fast, and he was back in action against the Sacramento Kings. But then the guy who is at my top of the MVP watch, I don't care if I'm a homer about it, Chris, it's Kevin Durant. I mean, absolutely stunning start for him this year. 27.6 points, 6.6 rebounds, shooting 55.3% from the field and about 43% from 3. It's been amazing to see this team really go at it early this year because, let's be honest, at the same time, playoff seeding is very important, especially in a loaded Western Conference. Getting a home playoff series is just absolutely adamant and at the forefront of this squad's mind, and Mike Budenholzer too, because he wins during the regular season to put his team in beneficial spots when it comes down to the playoffs. But we know Kevin Durant is out now for 2 weeks with the calf, and that's okay, because I think I was talking with you the other day too, Chris. We got to get Devin Booker firing and rolling a little bit more, and you hate to see it at the expense of an injury, but Kevin Durant is 36 years old. You're going to give him extended time, and we know what matters. It's the playoffs. But to start this season, it's been a hell of a fun ride so far. I can't wait to see these other guys get into the fold, like Oso Ighodaro, Josh Okogie getting some more time frame, Grayson Allen stepping up his game as well. But it's all systems go for this Phoenix Suns squad. And it's been a lot of fun to start, Chris.
Oh man, Mike, it has been a ton of fun. You really nailed it. So I'll probably keep my thoughts pretty short here, but just highlight some things that have stood out to me. And you're right. The fact that every game has been close, only one double-digit win, no double-digit losses. The Suns team is staying close to their opponents, which you don't love to see, but the fact that they're coming out on top is great. You've also mentioned the strength of schedule so far. Suns have had some tough matchups, a pair with the Lakers, a pair with the Mavericks, and the tough Sacramento Kings team. They are a playoff team now that you have to worry about. I love the strong start from Kevin Durant. Of course, it's a real bummer that he's out for the next 2 weeks. But like you just said, and we had talked about, this is a great chance for Devin Booker to step up and really cement that this is his team and that he is still the main go-to guy. Obviously, Kevin Durant is that guy as well. It's kind of a 1A, 1B situation. But also, like you had said, the rookie Ryan Dunn, who has been impressive, this will be another opportunity for him to step up as well. I think with KD out yesterday, Ryan Dunn did get the start in that forward position. So we're likely going to start seeing him, if not starting more, definitely playing more in the absence of Kevin Durant. Some of our fears are coming true early. Obviously, Bradley Beal has been in and out with various ailments. Nurkic went out in Sunday's game with the Kings and is considered day-to-day right now. But, it's better to happen now. There's plenty of time for them to get healthy, make that late season push, the playoffs. And for now, the show's got to go on. I love the addition of Mason Plumlee. He's been great, solid rebounder in the paint. He has a couple double-digit rebounding games, especially now if Nurkic ends up missing any time. I feel perfectly comfortable having Plumlee get slated into that starting center role. But yeah, overall, this team is staying in games, playing wire to wire. A great start to the season, no doubt. I'm really, really optimistic for the Suns team and excited to see what they do going forward. But Mike, it is a new season. This is our first recap of the new season. And with that, you know what that means. We're bringing back the player of the recap for the 2024-2025 season. Mike, who will be your very first player of the recap of the season?
Chris, like I said, it's great to be back watching Phoenix Suns basketball. We already talked about a couple of different guys who probably could have got the nod for player of the recap. But in my eyes, I feel like I left out one key contributor that has just propelled this second unit and has stepped into a role of being in that closing unit as well. And Chris, my player of the recap, the first one for the season, I'm going with Royce O'Neal, man. What a start for this guy. 10.2 points per game, 6.7 rebounds, less than a turnover per game. And he's shooting 48.9% from three. He's just been absolutely clutch. You think about that Dallas Mavericks game, he was a perfect 7 for 7 until that last floater that he took missed. But we end up with the W. I was hearing that he did change his eating habits over the offseason. He's come in a little bit leaner, and you can see it within his game as well. He's going off the dribble a little bit more, a lot of confidence attacking the basket. We already know that he's got an incredible stroke from the outside. So it's been awesome to see what Royce O'Neal has done to propel this second unit. Like we said, we do hope that Grayson Allen can start matching him as well, because I'd love to give him a couple of nods for player of the recap as well. But this was an easy decision for me, Chris. First player of the recap this year is going to Royce O'Neal. But who do you got, man? Who's your first player of the recap for the Phoenix Suns in 2024-2025?
Mike, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I just got to get straight to the point. My player of the recap is our point guard, Tyus Jones. Possibly the best free agent signing of the offseason, not just for the Phoenix Suns, but possibly in the entire league. He is exactly what this team needed, a true point guard who understands his role well and is willing to be flexible. You've seen him have to take on more of a responsibility with Beal out, and then with all of those guys on the court, gets to step back into his point guard role. Really excited to see how this team performs as they continue to get familiar playing together. Tyus Jones is averaging 11 points per game and 6.3 assists. So those times when he does have to step up, I expect he's easy double-double guy. He can get you 10 assists, double-digit points, very versatile. Tyus Jones, first of hopefully many player of the recap nods, but I had to do it. And he'll have an opportunity to show us what he can do in the next 2 weeks with Kevin Durant out. The Suns are going on a bit of a road trip. They're going to start off in Utah, taking on the Jazz. They'll head back down to Sacramento for a matchup with the Kings, head across over to Oklahoma to take on the Thunder, and finish off their road trip in Minnesota for a matchup with the Timberwolves. After that, they'll come back home for a nice long home stint, starting out with the Orlando Magic, then the New York Knicks, Los Angeles Lakers, and Brooklyn Nets. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep bringing you a Phoenix Suns recap every 2 weeks this season. So make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the Valley Sports and Phoenix Suns action. For Michael Benjamin, I'm Chris Patrick, and we'll see you next time. Peace.